And welcome back to an edition of the Friday episode of John Wayne Surge Protector Podcast, a 60/40 production. I'm Eric Halsey.
I'm Alex Midway, and our lifelong dream, well, so far going on almost 2-year dream, is to make it a FU Friday podcast where we swear and do all kinds of crazy things, but unfortunately today is not that day, even though one of us wants to swear a whole lot because he's had a long week.
Yeah, it's been a long one, but we're going to power through because, the dozens of you out there need it.
That's right. We're reporting to be it's quality over quantity over here is how we roll with it. So since you want to finish this up, no one cares about us. Let's kick it off with who said it.
All right,
What's that?
What do we got?
Well, we are going to land a lot of tonnage on the moon. We're going to build the factories on the moon. The robots will help with that.
That's got to be Elon, right?
100%. And that might be related to why SpaceX stocks has also gone up, but more on that in a quick second. But yeah, that is definitely Elon.
It just sounds like him. Like, if it doesn't make sense, no, anything scientifically related, it's got to be that dummy.
He's like, time to divert your attention over here. We're building moon bases. Like, how are you going to do about it? It's like, robots. He's like, none of them work. The last one you had just put popcorn into a bag. It's like, shut up. I can do anything.
Yeah, they are. I've always said all the terrible things this administration has done seems like it's been ripped from like movies or comic books like over the years. And this is actually one from did you ever watch The Whitest Kids You Know?
Of course.
Yeah, this is the moon base. And then we're going to find out that a biker gang of bears who are doing intergalactic meth trade are the real problem. And so please pay attention to anything I'm saying instead of what's actually happening here in America.
We're going to invade Iran. All right, he's like, you got me.
You got me. Almost had you.
Going into it, let's start off with Elon's first venture. It's the Tesla ticker. It went from 325 when we talked to you last to 328. And it's partially on the news of a Terraform, a semiconductor manufacturing plant, has broken ground in Texas. And this isn't anything new. We knew it was coming, but essentially the fact that they're actually doing what they promised, it made the stock go up. And this is kind of like if you contract a dude to remodel your bathroom, when he shows up the day he says he did, like, you're there giving him a standing ovation. It makes no sense.
Yeah, plus, I don't know if you remember back in high school, random construction people we would try to go to try and buy weed from, which can evidently get you like a life sentence in Texas now. So I don't know who's building this thing for them.
So I'm going to be very interested to see how all the whites do the construction. Like, we're behind schedule again because these guys want to take a 2-hour lunch.
And the our estimate is probably double right now. So
good luck on that one. But SpaceX also went up from $125 to $135, and it's not just the fact that Elon said we're going to build a moon base. Part of that whole speech was him saying that, yeah, we're also going to extract minerals from the moon. And it had like a comment by one SpaceX investor. He's like, yeah, you know what? Like, Mars seems far away, but mining on the moon is only a 2-day trip. So that seems a little bit more feasible for money. I'm like, none of these things exist. They both are magical things currently.
Oh, you know what? They really do sort out and try their best to find the dumbest people. And if any of you YouTubers out there have some fun input on why mining on the moon's a great idea, we'd love to hear it.
It's not nearly as risky as going to Mars. Like, well, it's also not as risky as going to Venus. So if you had said that first, like, well, Mars seems reasonable.
Yeah, all of you, just do yourself. I'm going to make you a one-time deal. You send us the time and place. I will come. You give me half your money. I will kick you in the nuts. And at the end of the day, I will give you the same exact amount of stuff I mined from the moon as Elon will. Only you get to keep half your investment. Yeah, it's called capitalism.
The article that I did read as far as SpaceX stock, they're like, yeah, man, stocks rose today, lifted by optimism that the Fed may not need to raise interest rates soon. I'm like, wait a second. I was like, why would that in fact impact anything? I'm like, are you telling me that they're saying that we're going to need to borrow more money in order to make this thing work. But now that the interest rate isn't going up, we'll be able to borrow it at less money. So technically, we're winning. Stock goes to the moon.
I'm sure our debt's going to be down 500% based on your math and proximity to Republicans. So that's what I pulled out of what you just said.
Wild. Like, yeah, man, our moon base thing is doing better because the interest rate didn't go up. Like, how the hell are those things related?
These are lies that the kids these guys raped wouldn't buy. So I don't know how so many smooth brains are letting this happen.
It's the end of the actual
Allegedly.
education system. So let's get into some bad news. We're gonna take a little bit of a dive into what's happening in Honeybadgerstan, and this is one of those episodes where we're gonna list the accomplishments or the W's for Russia. I don't know if you count this as a W, but yeah, I guess they do. They're taking advantage of the fact that Ukraine doesn't have any Patriot missiles and launching unprecedented amounts of rockets into the capital, Kyiv. And it's also not just the capital, it's also a residential center. And they're launching missiles into it. And just launching missiles is one thing, but when you're using cluster munitions, that's a whole different monster. Those things are meant to hit a lot more things. And if you're not, are you familiar with cluster munitions?
I am not.
So imagine a rocket is essentially a pistol. It goes to one place, and then, maybe it explodes a little bit down there. Now, cluster munitions is essentially a shotgun. Now, these things have multiple warhead bomblets that drop out to hit a larger amount.
All right, so it's doing a wide spread on what it can hit.
Yeah, it's doing a wide spread, and one of the things about cluster munitions, they have a failure rate of between 2 and 40%. It's one of the main reasons it's been stopped. And when it's used essentially on a battlefield, that's one thing. Like, one of the main reasons a lot of people have stopped using it is because, let's say we're fighting in the middle of a desert. Okay, it is what it is. Then we end our war. Now people can move back into that desert. Well, between 2 and 40% of that stuff is still unexploded there. And you're going to injure civilians. I mean, Russia's firing into civilian centers, so they're injuring everybody. But yeah, that's why a lot of people stop using it.
Yeah, I don't know why we're just like, how is the rest of the world just not be like, hey, you can't do this and join in? I don't understand it, especially now that we know that this will be over in 3 days. Stuff is on year 5 now.
We'll get into a little bit more of what you guys can't do is, but before we go into that, I do want to touch base on the cluster munitions. They were banned by the Convention on Cluster Munitions back in 2008. They prohibit their use, stockpiling, production, and transfer. But not everyone has signed. Russia is one of the nations that hasn't signed it. We also haven't signed it. China, India, and one more country hasn't signed it. Can you guess which country that is?
All right, so you've given me U.S., China, India, and Russia, right? Are the only 4 so far? Only 4 countries. Is this Israel?
Our number one ally in the Middle East has decided that cluster munitions are a part of their arsenal.
Well, I guess if it's your number one weapon towards genocide under the nuclear, without going nuclear, I guess it makes sense. But geez, Pete.
The ROIs on civilians are amazing, but that's the thing about it. War shouldn't be about injuring civilians.
Yeah, you remember like when we were growing up and people talked about war crimes and we thought that was a thing and it turns out it's not? You can just kind of do whatever you want.
Yeah. Remember when they also taught us that a genocide should never happen again because of the horrible things that were done to the Jewish people? Yeah, I remember that one too. Boy, had that turn around.
Did you ever watch Weeds?
No.
Oh, yeah. One, you have to. It's a great brain rot. But there's a great part where I guess it's the Jewish grandfather is talking to the grandson who's like 17, something like that. And he's like, yeah, we can never let that genocide ever happen again. And he's like, what do you mean again? Look at Armenia. Look at Rwanda. He starts going through. He goes, stop. No, to us. It can never happen to us again. It is one of the most perfect lines ever delivered in television history. And oh my God, 20 years later, it is just nail on the head.
It rings even more true. But Ted Lasso just came out, I believe, 2 days ago. So hard pass on Weeds. Ted Lasso for the win.
Yeah, my fiance's back tonight. Cannot wait to fire that up. It has been killing me.
There you go. You had to wait?
Dude, there is a part of relationships nobody talks about. When you watch a show together, you can't go forward, even though you stay up till 1 o'clock every morning. And you have to wait for the other person to be there. And it's ridiculous, and I hate it with a passion.
For you can definitely watch it and then rewatch it later on.
She might listen.
We know she doesn't.
There is not a chance.
So, continuing on again for more somber news and back into are they allowed to do that category? North Korea has went ahead and deployed 6 missile launchers, 120 missiles, and about 90 troops into western Russia. And they're out there getting ready to launch a whole lot more missiles. About 2 weeks ago, they launched one. It got past the air defenses. And Russia's like, hey, man, we like your work. Come on in, bring up a whole bunch more. And the fact that they're down there, and no one's called this an escalation of a conflict, but anytime anyone's considered giving out tanks, man pads, anything else to Ukraine, like, whoa, we can't do that. That's gonna anger Russia. And that's an escalation of a war that we can't have. Like, they are literally putting North Koreans with missile launchers to launch into Ukraine. And this isn't a first go-around for the North Koreans. They were there to actually, as ground troops, to take back Kursk.
So this just dawned on me. North Korea is joining up with Russia to attack Ukraine. And if I remember post 9/11 Fox News, North Korea and Russia were the 2 biggest threats that you need to start losing sleep over. So shouldn't Fox's stance, like, shouldn't Ukraine be their wet dream right now of like, we have to, but somehow we're on the other side? I don't understand. It's almost like none of their thoughts were based in principle and strictly on how they can help me right now.
I do like where your head's at. And this next article, actually, I got off the Fox News website.
Oh.
And it says, North Korea test fires short-range ballistic missile as the U.S., South Korea to hold joint drills later in August. And the headline of it, I don't remember what exactly it was, but it also said that the launch holds no immediate threat. And to those people, I want to say, are you effing retarded? I was like, first of all, the North Koreans didn't send people over to retake Kursk and lose people because they're BFFing with Putin. They got something out of it. Talk has been that Russia helped move their nuclear program along. And you know why we're attacking Iran, but yeah, now North Korea is getting help from the Russians. And the fact that they're back here helping them launch missiles, you don't think Putin's helping them out with something else? Like, this is going to be a problem for us.
Yeah, no. The Un family of North Korea fame are all bat-ass insane. I wouldn't call them stupid. They are definitely getting something back in this trade.
Yeah, like there was a while back, I think it was the British or probably the French. The French are doing all kinds of cool but they ended up sinking some kind of an actual freighter that was in the waters, and they said it possibly had things going to North Korea to help them with nuclear enrichment and getting a nuclear weapon. I'm like, why do you not see this? Like, if we're so up in arms about Iran, like, I'd rather Iran has a nuclear weapon than North Korea. Iran's like, hey, man, we just want to hang out with the Ayatollah and beat our own people. North Korea's like, we're actively launching missiles and we want to reconciliate the Korean Peninsula.
Yeah, but on the other side of that, North Korea has their God-given right to firearms, 2A. So, more good guys with guns are better than bad guys with guns, right? Isn't that how it's supposed to go?
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
And also, our guy, he courted the Little Rocket Man for a while.
I think we're okay at the moment, but yeah, once word starts getting around that Dennis Rodman might become our new attorney general, then I think we really need to start paying attention to North Korea.
I mean, didn't we just put, Blanche, Trump's old lawyer, as the attorney general? Like, how is that not a conflict of effing interest?
I thought he still had to make it through the House, which he will. I just don't think it's done yet, right? Yeah.
Because the Republicans will stand up for their morals, like, well, we can't let this go on. Like, buddy, they went on break, big homie.
Buddy, I can guarantee you right now, Chuck Schumer is drafting the hardest hitting useless letter you will ever read.
Britney Spears just helping him do some kind of a TikTok video. Is like, no, you can't confirm. Not today, Trump. We will stand firm, or something else that's catchy.
Well, at least he's doing it with his just regular, not wearing a kufi like this is February. So
Having them all take knees down there, I was like, this is idiotic.
I think that's why we lost.
One of many reasons. But let's get back to another thing that's happening over in Ukraine. It's another thing that's come out is, again, we told you about the fact that Trump did a U-turn about providing any Patriot missiles to Zelensky. He said, we need him too. It was like, I wonder why you need him. You started a war in Iran. But yeah, neither here nor there. He's also, he told Ukraine that they're not allowed to manufacture the Patriots. That's still in conversation, hasn't happened. And Zelensky's come out that the first half of this year, the deliveries of weapons to Ukraine's been about a third of what it was last year. So that's not the best. And some people are saying this is a way to make Ukraine more susceptible to negotiations. And the more they get bombs, they'll want to concede. But this place ain't called Honeybadgerstan for no reason.
Counterpoint. The fact that Trump didn't just take the money and run and actually delivered a third of what was promised, 33% more than most people get. So quit being such a crybaby.
Yeah, when I said allies, I meant people in Europe.
Oh, not those allies. Okay, I got it.
I didn't say America delivered 1/3 of what it did last year. I was like, no. I would imagine that number being a whole lot less.
Oh, yeah.
So Ukraine is going to do Ukraine things. And today a wild berries warehouse in Yekaterinburg is burning. And that place is about 1,200 miles away from the Ukrainian border. And just to put in perspective, if you span the U.S. from the left to the right, it's 2,800 miles. So Ukraine is hitting targets about half the span of the United States.
Ooh, that means like they're blasting from California and hitting, I don't know, one of those states we fly over.
One of those states that Republicans like, how did all these people vote red and we didn't win? It's like, because land doesn't vote, you idiot.
But look at all the land. It's red. Except for all the spots where the money is. Those are always blue for some reason.
I saw one thing today. It was like two people going back and forth on the internet, and one guy's like, yeah, Trump is right. Democratic cities are assholes. Like, they're complete garbage and they're war zones. And then one guy's like, hey, man, guy from overseas in Europe, he's like, I was just over in the U.S., and most of these things were held in democratic cities. It's like, and they were great. He's like, what the hell happened if those are war zones?
And not to mention, they're all funding your welfare queen red states. So just say thank you and maybe keep it quiet.
Did any of the cities that held these actually Republican cities?
I believe Kansas City, which I'm pretty sure is still pretty red.
Well, take a look at it real quick.
Other than that was it.
Yeah, double check in Kansas City which way they went. And I'm going to get into the FP7 missile that's currently being tested. It's for 5.7. It's a Flamingo. It's the evolution of a Flamingo. And so far it has 15 confirmed tests, and they're expecting a launch at the start of autumn. And the whole evolution of these Flamingos is insane. Again, I will remind you that Firepoint wasn't even a company 5 years ago, and now they're getting ready to do the FP9 rocket at the end of autumn. And the FP9, from what they're saying, this thing's going to reach Moscow without any kind of issues. And that might be why Moscow, or Russia as a whole, is stepping up a whole let's bomb the S out of Kyiv and to try and get a knockout. Because if this thing keeps going, Ukrainian ingenuity is going to come out on top.
Yeah, again, they're going to attach cluster bombs to like a Skip It or a Simon or like a box of Connect 4 game or something. Like, they're going to find a way to get you. And Kansas City, Democrat leaning, blue city inside of a red state. So yeah, all those people going crazy about how awesome we are for the World Cup, that's us, and you're welcome.
Also, on the subject of Ukraine doing something else, I would not be surprised to read a headline that says Ukraine slaps a bomb on a slinky and it makes it all the way to Moscow.
Yeah, no, they're just going to find like a good hill and just let it go. It's going to be amazing. I used to work with a guy with an engineering brain who could like basically set up like a mousetrap with erector sets and just get diabolical. And that's the brain they're dealing with right now. Ukraine's just going to find a way. There's nothing more dangerous on earth than a wounded animal. These guys have been wounded for a while, and they are not stopping down.
They've been wounded, but you also take a look at who's attacking what. Like Russia's unloading on the state capital, or on the country's capital, and Ukraine went ahead and hit the Bashneft Nova oil refinery, also the Slavneft Yanos oil refinery, 2 Russian military patrol boats on the Black Sea, and just for good measure, they went to a shipyard in St. Petersburg and hit a corvette that was in the process of being built and was going to launch in a couple weeks. But they also make personal visits on some people. And one person who definitely needed a visit was Vladimir Tkachuk. And it's not the Chuck brothers who play for Florida, but maybe he's related. But he's also the head of a Ural drone factory and developed the Upir drone. Well, he had his Mercedes blown up and killed the driver, the bodyguard, and heavily wounded him. And I hope right now he is bleeding out of his pee hole and slowly dying.
Yeah, your boy over here looks like he got that opening scene from Casino treatment, and I love it. So good for Ukraine. Score another one for the good guys.
They also, we didn't even get into this one, but I think it's last week. It's they bombed some kind of a dinner where a bunch of people were, and one of the guys there was a lieutenant general, and he just recently died. They buried him, and he's one of the guys who planned the invasion of Russia or Ukraine. And essentially, they're going after anyone who had anything to do with this, and this is like hunting Nazis after the war is done. They're not effing around.
Yeah, it'd be weird if you put that kind of mentality on figuring out the Epstein files and stuff. But you know what? Little pressing issue. I hope we amend some laws, let Zelensky run our country for a while, and he will get to the bottom of every issue we have.
They got the right TV actor. We got the guy who's like, "You're fine." That's my catchphrase. You suck. He's like, "No, I don't."
I've never sucked. It's a proven fact. The fact I've worked for everything I have, starting with the $400 million I was given at age 18.
Did you see how he's come out just recently? He's like, "Yeah, the Republican policies are really horrible." He's like, "Those are your policies, you idiot."
No, somebody else. That's Republican 103. That's always have someone to blame.
I do love it. He's like, "Yeah, man, all the people passing my policies that I tell them to pass." He's like, "Those guys are evil human beings." He's like, "Okay, I gotta get on my jet right now."
Yeah, clearly the reason we're having so many economic problems right now are those 112 trans NCAA athletes. So we're working on that steadily. Don't worry about where all the rest of this money is going.
We just got done painting the horses gold, guys. We'll get to the affordability issue in a second. Just
why don't you peasants ever say thank you when I beautify this city?
Speaking of jets and everything else, I know last episode I gave everyone a teaser about a new drone that's coming out of Ukraine, and it's a little bit of an update. This thing is called the Triada Robotics Bravo, and it made its debut on the strike on the Ufa refinery that we talked about last week. It's kind of really cool looking, and it looks very similar to F-117 Nighthawk, our first stealth fighter. But Bravo's obviously a whole lot smaller than that because it is still a drone, but it is a jet-powered drone. Did you have a chance to take a look at this?
I have not. Let's pipe it in as we speak.
Copy-paste that real quick. It's for anyone at home playing along. It's Triada, Triada, Robotics Bravo. Second two, if you can't spell, that's on you. Now, a little bit of a statistics on this thing. It has a range of about 2,000 kilometers, or again, 1,200 miles, about half the United States. A cruising speed of about 370 miles an hour, and about 500 when it's in an attack vector. And it attacks from up to 3 miles in the air because that's how high it can fly. It has an AI targeting software that's allegedly being developed by Anduril Enterprises, which is a U.S. contractor. And this thing costs about $200K. So it has AI targeting technology, flies at about 500 miles an hour when it's attacking, and it has speed that is faster than a Mustang fighter jet that the Allies in the U.S. used at the end of World War II.
Buddy, this thing looks so futuristic that whenever a car company comes out and they're like, and here's the next vehicle we're thinking about. and then it never happens and just never comes to fruition. That's what this drone looks like.
Yeah, no, it's actually happened because a lot of Russian military bloggers, they first saw this when there was some people recording, and it's a blob, like just in and out when they were recording the bombing outside the Ufa refinery. So it's definitely out there, and some of the specs have come out, and even more is going to come out. And while we haven't seen it actually attack anything so far, it's not there to just it's not a trailer queen, so to speak. It's there to race.
Yeah, this thing looks awesome. I can't wait till eventually this information gets sold to someone else and they use it on us. This thing looks wild.
Yeah, and right now, technically, the Russian air defenses can still strike down an FP-5 Flamingo, which goes at about 600 miles an hour. But that is a much bigger rocket than this. This is still a drone, even though it is jet-powered. And it costs about 1/3 of what an FP-5 Flamingo costs. But its warhead is between 200 and 450 pounds of explosives. So back in the day, the FP-1 was cruising about 110 miles. FP-5 is now doing 600, and FP-9, which is going to be released later this autumn, is going to be doing a whole lot more. So what they're doing down there is just wild.
Yeah, I mean, getting rocked for 5 years, nothing's safe, nothing's secure, and they still find a way to start pumping this stuff out. It's a testament to what the resolve of Ukraine. It's awesome.
Ukraine's like, all right, you guys know what's said? F it. We'll make jet-powered drones. The Russians like, we're going to give you guys our rifles from World War II, and also the North Koreans are coming to help. Like, Jesus Christ, can't we develop something new? It's like, no, we suck.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I've had a terrible week, and I was like, yeah, I don't really feel like podcasting today. So same.
I hit with a couple cluster munition strikes at my house. I guess we'll just phone this one in.
It's admirable.
Wow. But you know what else is admirable is living in Mamdanistan. Have you heard about the newest crazy thing that's happening up there?
No, what did they finally get to Sharia law?
It's essentially Sharia law. So what residents in New York City are doing, they're using social media and they're posting up things that are broken. And somehow with witchcraft, Mamdani is out there either the same day or that same week, because one user posted up a picture of a pothole and he tagged Mamdani in it. That thing was filled later that day. And there was another thing that this scumbag went ahead. He went out to a bunch of parks in New York City, and right before a heat wave, he installed water fountains. If that's not communism, I don't know what is.
You said same day that guy posted the pothole?
Filled a pothole that same day.
All right. One, he's clearly cutting through red tape to get things done. So he's clearly lying and cheating somewhere. Also, did you know New York City has somewhere between 8.4 to 8.6 million residents?
It's quite a few.
So the fact that you find one guy's tweet and take care of it later that day, man, it's almost like if you weren't trying to get rich in politics, you could really just take care of the stuff you're paid to take care of.
It's essentially like the new guy on the job. He's like, yeah, man, I went ahead and fixed the hot water heater. He's like, whoa. He's like, you're not supposed to do it that fast. You're making the rest of us look bad. He's over here in New York City. He's like, yeah, man, I fixed potholes. And everyone else like, quiet down, Mamdani. I was like, we don't want him to think we have actual power.
Yeah, it's wild. And this is why that whole socialism thing is becoming Republicans' new talking point. They're like, we got to get rid of these guys. Look how evil they are. They're literally fixing the cities.
He fixed a pothole the same day. I've been breaking my rim on the same one down here in Arizona for God knows how long. Well, it's pointless to even write them. They're not going to do anything.
Yeah, and somehow one tweet from one of 8.6 million people in Mamdani's like, nah, I'll get this one right now. He should honestly start forcing people to thank him after he does it.
This is wild. It's I want more of this, but moving right along, because Salem, Oregon, standing ovation. As this headline, you're going to love it. Protesters haul a guillotine to city council meeting about a potential AI data center. The company rep cornered by protesters. It no longer felt safe to stay. Developer was escorted out by the police. And God bless you, Salem, Oregon, because that shut down this data center site. And the guy's like, yeah, we're out of here.
I mean, look how well it worked on Mike Pence with just a noose. Now we got some people with some real ingenuity behind them recreating guillotines. I love this.
Did you see the picture of it?
Yes, this one I did.
Anyone who has it, it was essentially a guy literally on a bicycle, and he was towing behind a guillotine, doing circles outside the building. The guy saw it, and he's like, "Oh, I'm out of here." He's like, "We're not playing this game."
Hey, you know what? As much as I would love to live in a peaceful utopia where we use our words, since one half of us is against it and they prefer their guns and stuff, I think this is a great retort. Like, let's just go full old school on them.
Yeah, he's like, "We might not have the same amount of ARs, but we got some guillotines." Like, oh god.
Yeah, I remember having a conversation with somebody once where he's like, I have a gun. And I'm like, that's cool. I have an axe by our front door. The theory behind it is anybody can have a gun, but if someone shows up with an axe, the tenor of the situation kind of changes a little bit.
Yeah, you walk into a house, a dude's like facing you with an axe, like, oh boy.
Like, this guy's in it for the love of the game.
There was another article, and I think it was out of Minnesota, and I try to find it and I can't. But it was some town, I think in Minnesota, they cut down every flock camera out there.
Oh yeah, so that was Wisconsin or Minnesota, one of the two.
I think it was Minnesota. I don't remember what town, but kudos to those beautiful people as well.
Oh yeah. Chock filled with copper and gold, guys. And meth ain't gonna sell itself.
Yeah, even if there's nothing inside him, just go ahead and cut him down for fun. You feel better. But moving right along, did you hear about the whole presidential thing with Capital One?
About how he's suing Capital One because they closed a bunch of his accounts. And
correct.
Yeah.
So he was going around. He's suing a bunch of people. He's also suing J.P. Chase, Morgan. And he's doing this whole thing. He's like, you guys debanked me because of my political views, and this is something. It's like, well, first of all, like, you try to lead a coup to overthrow the peaceful transfer of power, so you should be like, you should be debanked, but the Republicans are cowards. Second of all, to say, like, I was debanked and we had to take all of our billions of dollars in wheelbarrows right away and find new places. Like, no, man. Capital One and all these banks gave you plenty of time to find other banks. Like, UBS deals with Al-Qaeda. Like, don't worry, you'll find another bank that's willing to deal with you. And third thing, aren't Republicans always about, like, the rights of businesses to do whatever they want? Like, a gay couple wants a cake made. Like, F you, I'm not making that homo stuff. Like, well, we side with the baker. What happened with that?
No. Again, that all changes when their policies then affect them. Like, it's not a principal argument. None of it is. And like, you're right. That bakery shouldn't have to make a gay cake. You're like, you're right. That's awesome. And like, also, we don't serve Republicans here. You're like, this is against my freedom of speech. It's the same argument. They just don't look at it that way. It's only me, not us.
It's like, I got thrown out of Disney World for wearing a MAGA hat. Like, why are you wearing a MAGA hat in Disney World? Get the stupid ears, man. Like, and just get on with your life. Like, you all have TDS. Like, you're the one always in Trump gear. Like, don't say that I'm obsessed with the guy. Like, you literally pay to have that man's name on your back and chest.
Yeah, and also, you know what? If you do happen to be MAGA at Disney, MAGA can have you. We don't need Disney adults over here either.
But the last thing about the whole debanking thing is the fact that they came out in a lawsuit. He's like, yeah, it's because of my views. It's like, no, man, it's because we found things that said you were laundering money. That's why we debanked you, and we even gave you 60 days to get the F out.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, it was something like 130 cases of money laundering or something like that. And he's like, no, political view. That's what it was.
The fact that this is such a small story, the White House hasn't said anything about it. Like, it's already out of the news cycle, and part of it could be the fact that Israel went ahead and bombed a refugee center in Burj Shamali and killed 8 people. But I digress. The administration went ahead and pulled a classic move, as Scott Besson says the Trump admin is cracking down on undocumented immigrants' use of a financial system. Like, boy, oh boy, Scott, way to tackle the issues.
Yeah, I love that. I love that cartoon years ago. It's a big fat businessman with 98 cookies in front of him, or 99 cookies, and then one cookie in the middle between like an American worker and some some foreigner, and he's like, "That guy's trying to eat your cookies." Nom, nom, nom.
Like, this guy's literally laundering money. He's like, these Mexicans got cash. And, like, first of all, illegal immigrants pay into the actual Social Security system, which is still getting bankrupt. The fact that we're getting rid of all these people who never will take a dollar out of Social Security isn't helping that. The fact that these people won't be able to leave their monies in our banks will also lead to a whole lot more issues for us. Banks are able to lend based on a ratio of how much money they have on hand. Let's say I have $100 invested in my bank. I am allowed to loan out, let's say, $1,000. Now, if I have only $50, I can only give out loans for $500. Therefore, those prices will go up. This is going to hurt Americans.
Yeah, aside from the fact that I saw something like undocumented people put something like $75 billion into Social Security a year that they can't touch. And just like everything these guys touch, we put businessmen in the middle of it, and then they somehow ruin it all.
Yeah, and I remember back in the day, like Bank of America had this sweet, sweet gig where they would give out undocumented people credit cards, or I think bank cards, and they're like, yeah, man, just deposit your money in here. And then when they got deported, they went to an ATM in Mexico, like, oh, this thing doesn't work here.
Yeah, no, I mean, banks are just as shady. Hate them too. But you know what? At least, they kind of help us sometimes. you monsters are just here to screw us in every way possible. It's like, did you ever see? No, yeah, you never had kids. Monsters Inc. It was like the whole premises was we have to scare all these children and then we collect their fear, and that's what runs our city. And I swear to God, like everything else they do in their stupid let's rip off this movie, they just trying to make things worse and somehow found a way to profit off of it.
I think I've seen the first one, and I just got done watching, the Minions movie as well in theaters.
Ooh, how did you enjoy it? I never got into Minions.
Wasn't that good? Definitely not worth the trip to the movie theater. And when I went into the movie theater, 11,000,000% next door was the Odyssey, because the entire time I kept hearing giant explosions. I'm like, why would you put these two next to each other? There's like 6 people in this movie theater. It's like, you clearly have room to spread out these movies.
Well, you may not be able to live 500 feet from a school anymore, but I'm glad you found a way to still reach those children in movie theaters.
Buddy, don't you dare start saying that I can't live next to a school. I don't want that rumor starting.
I'm just kidding. You don't vote Republican.
Registered Republican, but not registered sex offender Republican.
Oh, that just makes you one of those fake liberal ones.
Dude, I felt so weird. Essentially, like the last election that we had down here, I went in there like, hey, what's your party affiliation? I'm like, Republican. It's like, God, they're gonna like, you're one of the experts voting for this stupid war, aren't you? I was like, no, I'm just here to sabotage one of the guys and vote for the guy who's most aligned with Trump so we can knock his A out in the regular election. I was like, but I can't get into that whole thing. I was like, I felt so bad saying, like, I'm a registered Republican.
Yeah, I had to change mine a few years back. It was I was like, I'm not saying this out loud anymore. But speaking of Republican monsters, Rep. Andy Ogles lost his primary in Tennessee's 5th district this week, which is highly unusual for a 2-term congressman. Ogles started the campaign in the lead, as all incumbents do, with a big advantage in the primaries, which got amplified when he got an attaboy from Orange Daddy, who gave Ogles his, quote, complete and total endorsement for re-election, end quote. In case you're wondering why Trump would give a flying F about a layup seat in a southern state, maybe it's because Ogles is a first-class a-hole who spent the past year saying some horrific stuff like, Muslims don't belong in America's society, or homosexuality has no place in America, or as far as demanding the NFL and NBC both be investigated for Bad Bunny's halftime show, calling it Pure smut. If a Trump-backed incumbent in Tennessee eating a giant bowl of S doesn't inspire hope, then maybe you can just let it brighten up your weekend.
So, two things about that one. Apparently, Marsha Blackburn, the one who won the primary for the GOP, she's just as big of a Trumper as he is. And if you're concerned about the Bad Bunny like smut out there, like, have you went ahead and Googled the First Lady nude and seen that track record? I was like, there's a whole lot more smut out there for that.
Yeah, no, I don't think smut was the problem. Everybody looked fairly covered up, if I remember correctly, because we didn't watch the Kid Rock one. But I do think maybe this probably has more to do with ethnicity than it does actual smut.
I couldn't hear what they were saying. Like, okay, learn Spanish.
But I'm also pretty sure, isn't Marsha, she was another rep. I don't think he was primaried up against Blackburn, was he?
Maybe so. All right, never mind. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm almost positive, but you know, it's Tennessee, so who cares?
I'll look it up.
But you know what? Things are also not growing great for Representative Max Miller, who is getting bipartisan pressure to step down from his Ohio House seat. Max, 37, married to Ohio Senator Bernie Moreno's daughter, and for all intents and purposes was a rising star in the Republican Party. And I know what you're thinking. He's not anymore, right? So probably caught in a glory hole? No, turns out Max is the other kind of conservative. The kind that beats the ever-loving S out of his family. Yes, as his divorce matures, so have the horrific stories about Max's violence, like how he kicks the S out of his wife, or holds a gun to her head, or broke his daughter's collarbone. And the collarbone one gets even worse when you find out his daughter is currently 2 years old. So when I call this douchebag a monster, know that it comes from the bottom of my heart. Things have gotten so bad that Moreno had to move his daughter and granddaughter out of state to escape this piece of poop.
So it's Charlie Hatcher is a guy who unseated Ogles, and that guy's apparently a veterinarian and a fifth-generation farmer. But one thing you did not mention about our boy Max over here is what he did to a childhood toy of his daughter. He would hold back a blue bunny that she likes to sleep with.
Yeah, I did see the withholding his daughter's stuffed animal thing, but after he breaks her collarbone and holds a gun to his wife's head, ending with stuffed animal violence just kind of seems a little, like you go out with a whimper. But yeah,
that's true.
Just a giant loser. But we progressed. Even after all that, Max has said he's not backing down, and he's not relinquishing his power or seat, no matter what the polls or his contributions say. As of recording, Max is projected in the L column by double digits against Dem challenger Brian Poindexter, and his cash flow has also dried up at this point, where Max had to inject $1 million of his own money just to keep this abortion of a campaign rolling into November. But let's hear it from Max. Quote, I am invested in this election in every way and will invest the resources into my campaign to win. Later adding, I know there are some people that are concerned about my ability to win this race right now, but I don't share that. Republican Thinking 101. It's not a terrible idea if we don't admit it's a terrible idea until he gets curb stomped in November and somehow finds a way to blame Joe Biden, which will be covered in Republican 102.
Max Miller posted about 2 days ago, he's, in light of all renewed interest in my family affairs, I'm going to file my own paperwork for an ethic investigation into myself to clear my name from these horrific attacks on myself and family. I have absolutely nothing to hide. That is why your wife and child are hiding from you, Max. Like, I don't know how to tell you this, homie. It doesn't look good.
Well, I did see this when the story popped up. I did see a whole bunch of talking heads, including Orange Daddy, going, it's a family issue. You have to let them, you have to let them figure it out. You got to give them their privacy and let them figure it out.
You got to wait until he Chris Benoit's the entire family. Be like, Well, we didn't see the warning signs, guys. It's weird. It could happen to anyone.
I don't know. He always seemed quiet and just kind of, did his own thing.
He's interviewing of a neighbor. He's like, oh, he always invited me to cookouts. He's like, really normal guy.
Yeah, so I don't know. Everybody still seems to like him a lot, despite beating up a 2-year-old and his wife. So some people just can't be saved.
So it's Friday, and we're gonna make like Congress and all the representatives that are supposed to be dealing and doing things, and we're sliding down a dinosaur. But we'll be back next week. They won't be back until after you're married. I'm Alex Midway.
Yeah, where can I find that PTO? And when you figure it out, send it all on over to me. And yeah, because that seems amazing.
Daddy, chill.
Later, Gators.